What is up, and happy mental push up Monday, baby. If we need mental push-ups, we need them more than ever now. So this past week I had the opportunity to collaborate with a few teachers, and what we did was, we were getting everything situated to launch into this virtual world. And as we were talking, we were like, hey, just like we have to get kids bought in to, teaching when we're in a classroom, you also got to get them bought into the virtual world. So we came up with this great idea to create a welcome speech. So I started creating the welcome speech, and I tell them this story, and I was like, that's the mental push-up this week. So I want to share it with you guys, because if we need mental push-ups, we definitely need them right now. So a few years ago, when I first became a coach, I went to the Core Advocates convening by Student Achievement Partners. And at the end of the presentation, end of the session, they have these speakers. They give these Ignite talks. So I nudge my homegirl and I say, hey, the next time I come back, I am going to be on that stage. Well, it's 2 years later, and they reach out, they ask for proposals. Again, they're like, hey, we're looking for speakers for these Ignite talks. And so I submit my name at the very last minute. Like, it was due on April 30th. I sent it at April 30th, 11:59. So I don't hear anything back. And it's like the week before the conference. And I'm sitting in my Friday meeting, and my boss says to me, hey, we want you to give a speech for our retreat on Monday. And first of all, I'm ticked off, because I'm like, how you gonna tell me at the last minute? But instead, I go ahead, I get everything together, and I go in, I give the speech on Monday. Boom, killed it, right? So I'm like, all right. So finally, I go to the conference the next day. I attend some sessions, and I'm leaving the last session of the day, and I start talking to one of my colleagues, because she was in my session on Monday when I gave the speech. She was like, man, you gave, man, that speech was so good. Like, you should really be doing this in stadiums, like talking to masses amount of people. I see you doing it. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I head back to my room. I'm about to go get some crab legs with my homegirl. And so I get a text, and it's on the conference app, and it's like, hey, we need all the speakers to come to the ballroom. And I'm like, well, I never heard anything back, so I know they're not talking to me. So I run down to the ballroom, and I go down there, and I ask them, I say, am I speaking tomorrow? Because I'd never heard anything back. And they were like, yeah, you're going to be speaking tomorrow. So I run upstairs, I grab my deck from Monday, I practice with them, I come back the next day, boom, kill the speech. Right? And so at that point, I'm like, yo, I want to be a speaker, I want to go change the world. Great story, Fitz. But what does that have to do with me? Well, guys, number one, I had someone to believe in me when maybe I was somewhat doubting my own self. Like my colleagues' vote of confidence to say, hey, I see you speaking in rooms. That almost gave me fuel to be able to do it the next day. And so I want to tell each one of you, hey guys, you are the real MVP. I believe in you. Like, we can get this thing done. For my parents that are working a full-time job and managing kids at the same time, like, yo, you're the real MVP. For my teachers that are learning to teach in a brand new way to support kids and give them access, like, you the real MVP. Leaders, so trying to keep the ship going, keep your vessel going, and supporting your teachers, and trying to keep everything moving, like, you the real MVP. I believe in you. I want to tell you that right now. That vote of confidence to tell you, like, yo, you can do this. Secondly, things don't always look the way that we want them to, right? Like, ideally, it would have been nice for someone to say, hey, you have 2 weeks to prepare for this speech. Or, hey, you have a full week to do it. Both turnaround times were very short. It was like 48 hours and 24 hours. That was it. And ideally, that would have been the best situation. However, that wasn't it. I still said 2 years ago, I wanted to speak on that stage, right? And so if we think about our targets, we still want to give kids access. We still want to support students and getting where they want to get to, right? So it's just looking a little bit different, We don't have a brick and mortar building, but we are on the World Wide Web. And it just looks a little bit different, but we're still going towards the same target. Lastly, things are always working in our best interest. Whether we see it or not. It's always working out for us. Like, I have to look back at that situation. Now, I was ticked off on Friday when she said, I need you to turn this speech around in 48 hours. However, the speech from that previous weekend prepared me to be able to do the 24-hour turnaround. So all these different obstacles showed up, but it was all in preparation for that moment that I said I wanted 2 years ago. And so often when things show up, it's giving us exactly what we need for the journey and to prepare us for where we're trying to go. After we come out of this thing, as we talked about last week, we are going to have some skills that we didn't even know we were capable of. Parents, guess what? Now we're going to understand what our students, we're going to understand better. I'm not going to say all the way. We're going to have a better understanding of what teachers go through, right? As teachers, man, maybe I was like, oh, I don't even like technology in my class. And now I'm more willing to bring that in because that's the only way that I've been able to do it. So we're going to gather some things and learn some skills that we had yet tapped into, right? So thank you guys for checking out this video. Share this with 3 educators, baby. We all need mental push-ups during this time. Get out there this week and do those mental push-ups. And I'm out.